All right, hi everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back, and thanks for shooting in for another Boots on the Ground. Back in Ramsay today, looking at the old Ramsay School. Look at this beauty. Supposedly built in 1912 out of sandstone, and this place is incredible. The cupola on top, and the pediments, and all the fancy design work there in the sandstone. So we're gonna have a closer look at this thing. It's pretty jaw-dropping. So stick around, we'll be right back.
About a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
All right, so we're back, and as mentioned, the Ramsay School here in Ramsay, and in the corner of 25th Avenue and Spiller Road, southwest. And this thing's a beauty. Now, Cousin Vinny's with me again today, and he just pointed out that this fancy work along the ridgeline of the roofline here appears to be rusting. So it appears to be some kind of tin or sheet metal as opposed to some kind of stone or even woodwork. So prefabricated portions that can just be applied and attached to the building, I'm guessing. But really what gets me, as always, is the sandstone. The sandstone is beautiful, and I've talked about it many times on the channel that at one point there was 12 or 13 sandstone quarries in the city. So a lot of these buildings around this time period supposedly were built out of sandstone. Not really sure why, because as we look at these really low windows that are almost shooting down into the ground here, you can see the erosion of this sandstone. I mean, it's just so soft. It's literally turns to sand. So I'm not sure why, with ice and snow and long hard Canadian winters, 5-6 months maybe out of the year of ice and snow, why sandstone was chosen. Don't know. Now, it could be that this building is much older than we're told that it is. I mean, it just has the date, just carved into the side of the building, dink, 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 with hammer and chisel or whatever. So, I mean, they could put any date on it. So if this was much, much older, pre-cataclysm, pre-reset, if it's 100 or 150 years older than the date they say it was built, could it be that the weather or the local climate here was different than it is now, and it didn't get as cold here, didn't get as icy and snowy as it does now, and therefore the sandstone lasted longer? I don't know. But at any rate, here, let's have a look at the front of this thing. Beautiful, big, massive arched entrance. And there's that 1912 date there on above the door. You can see here that we see this often too, this sort of like half-buried arch here, and then you've got to go up a whole schwack of stairs to get into this big entrance. So at one point were these stairs not here, and was this just a really big, huge entranceway like we see in a lot of the old world buildings, a 15 or 20 foot high door? That I don't know for sure. It's just a theory, because I mean, why would you have a big huge arch here that's then all blocked in or bricked in or whatever, But you can see where, a guy gets a little baffled and befuddled with the sandstone. Because it is such a highly erosive building material, you can see here a guy can just stick his hand right in there, And this one goes right through to the other side. So you can see not the sturdiest of building materials. And you got to think too, you've got kids and everyone running up and down these stairs, before school, recess, lunch hour, after school. Wear and tear, right? Anyway, actually, before I go around, let's see if we can get into this main entrance here. Have a look at, not get into the building, but have a closer look at the main entrance here. Not seeing any plaques or anything on it. Pretty big entranceway. Fancy stonework around it. More modern door on it, unfortunately, you know, just big steel doors. The window detail's nice above the door. Just, you know, this beadwork on here, it's very nice. Got some nice detail on it. Let's whip around here into the side. This front facing side of the building is pretty much facing due north. So that might also explain a lot of this wear and tear on the sandstone. I find this odd too, is this big blank face. I mean, they've got all these low windows here that are huge, but then above, where you'd think there would be also, you know, classrooms or what have you, there's nothing, just a massive wall. But then it's framed in with a nice, fancier, smooth sandstone detail all the way around it. So I don't know. I've seen a number of schools like this here in Calgary, and they all seem to have that, or the majority of them do anyways. And I've always found it very odd. Up here we've got the windows, see? That makes sense. Again, you've got this filled in, half submerged arch. Just so odd. I've seen that so many times here too. Looks like they may have added a door there as an afterthought, you know, to put in their fire escape. Modern building codes and so on that probably didn't exist when this thing was originally conceived and erected, supposedly. Look at this, you know, multiple angles. So you've got these pediments in the roof line here, and on the front, the back, and the other side. So this is the east-facing side here. I think this school also has something that we see quite often in these old world buildings, is the separate boys and girls entrance. Which is, again, always struck me as odd. You can see some of that detail a little nicer there as well. I'm seeing there's a, right under that light there, it looks like there's a bit of an anchor to prevent the blocks from falling in or out. We see that a lot in brick buildings. Don't often see it on sandstone. So could it be that this is brick underneath just a thinner facade stone, almost like a thick tile that's just applied over brick? I don't know, I'm just speculating on that, but we often see those anchors on brick, but rarely on sandstone, so that's why I'm just kind of thinking out loud on that. Big, huge chimney on this thing. That's sandstone too, instead of brick. Again, you can see this big blank wall that's just framed in. They've got a playground here at the back, and it's raised up about 3 feet, give or take, from the main portion of the building here. You can see. Not sure why they have this fenced off. Could be that they're doing some work on this, whatever that used to be. And all of this is still a functioning school. The school is still being used, and it's just weird. They have all these boarded in windows. I mean, why have big massive windows like that if you're just going to board them all in? They don't want the kids distracted while they're doing their reading, writing, and arithmetic? Well, then why not block them all in, you know? That's weird. Just punched a door in there where there used to be a window, I'm guessing. It sort of would make sense that they might board in the lower windows to prevent, I don't know, somebody from breaking in and stealing, you know, valuables from the school, right? Computers and laptops or whatever, I don't know, whatever's in here. But to board up those higher windows just doesn't make any sense. You'd think they'd want to keep the electric bill down in this place and just let in as much natural light as possible. I don't know. Yeah, see, this door is marked boys. So I'm guessing the other side is the girls' entrance, and same thing there, that half submerged, half buried
Boys don't
ark.
get a roof.
Yeah, the boys don't get a roof over their door. But this has definitely seen better days here. In fact, they've even tried to apply some concrete over it to slow down the erosion and the aging process, to no avail, because that just chips off and then it's, you know, back to erosion. And again, it's just so soft. You can see how it wouldn't take long for the weather, the harsh winds and ice and snow, to make quick work of that. So for this thing to be as it's chiseled, you know, on the front, a 112-year-old school, she's in pretty good shape, all things considered. You know, with a few exceptions. That's why often we'll see what I call a fake or phony foundation built around the sort of the lower 3, 4, even 5 to 6 feet, where they just smear it with schmutz, like some concrete or something like that, and give it a little bit of a textured finish and make it look like that's the foundation. And it might be to preserve some of this and slow down some of that sandstone erosion. I don't know. Either way, an amazing old school, a wonderful old sandstone old world building that is at the base of this multi-tiered playground in behind it. There's a community center up there, Ramsay Community Center. So this whole area is just very strange, like the lay of the land, the topography, if you will, is very, very unusual. But yeah, there you go, the Ramsay School. If you hang tough here, I'm just going to run back across the street and take one last sort of nice wide shot of this thing so we can get all the pediments, the entrance, and the cupola on top all in. You can get a really good look at it. All right, so stick around for another minute or two and I'll be right back. Well, just some people just get upset when there's like, hey, that's my house, don't film it. Well,
It's like one of those things like, don't park in front of my house because that's my spot. Like, technically, no, fuck off.
yeah, well, this is, you know, like when I'm standing on the sidewalk, it's public property, right? So if your house is in my line of sight, I can film it. Again, as long as I'm not using a big zoom
You're the one
lens and
sending-
spying you in the bathroom or
You're
something.
the one that's sending all the photons over and hitting me in the eye.
That's right.
Keep them damn things away from my eyeball.
That's right. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So there you go, everybody. The Ramsay School. Supposedly built in 1912. A glorious and quite large sandstone structure with that lovely cupola on top as well. Some of the tech on it. I don't know, lightning rod, flagpole. It's got a weird looking old TV antenna from the 70s, it looks like, on there too. I don't know. But yeah, an incredibly amazing old building and really, really well looked after. So there it is. Thank you very much once again for shooting in and joining a fella here on this one. Let me know, as always, what you think down in the comments below. Of course, do all the other stuff. Until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Cheers.